Chapter 4, Section 3, The Beginnings of Buddhism. Everyone experiences changes in life. You may move to another community or attend a new school. Your ideas can change as well. Think about events or ideas that have changed your life. How did you react to these changes? Did the changes seem hard to accept at first? Pause the video and think about this for a moment. Questions to think about during this section. 1. How did the Buddhist religion come about? 2. How did the teachings of Buddhism develop and spread? Key terms that will be defined for you through the Google Classroom to pay attention for are meditate, nirvana, and missionary. Key people in this section are Siddhartha Gautama. Please make sure to have your Google Doc available to complete as this video plays or as you read through the textbook section. According to Buddhist tradition, a young Hindu prince once lived a life of luxury in his palace in northern India. Protected by the walls of the palace, he saw none of the unpleasant troubles that touch other people's lives. He was content with his life, for he had everything he wanted. Then, around the age of 30, he took some rides that changed his life and changed the history of Asia. On his rides, he saw things he never imagined. He met a bent and tired old man. The prince had never realized that people grow frail. For the first time, he saw a man who was very sick. Finally, he saw death when he saw the body being carried during a funeral. This suffering troubled the young man greatly. He wanted to know why there was so much suffering and pain in the world. He decided to change his life to find the answer. He gave up his wealth, his family, and his life of ease in order to find the causes of human suffering. The young man was named Siddhartha Gautama. What he discovered after 7 years of wandering led him to found a major world religion, Buddhism. The teachings of Buddhism. As Gautama traveled in the 500s BC, he sought answers to the meaning of life. At first, Gautama studied with Hindu philosophers, but their ideas did not satisfy him. He could not accept the Hindu belief that only Brahmins could pass on knowledge. Gautama decided to stop looking outwardly for the cause of suffering. Instead, he tried to find understanding within his own mind. He did this by meditating. Meditating is thinking deeply about sacred things. Buddhist tradition says that Gautama fasted and meditated under a fig tree. After 49 days, he found the answers he sought. Now he understood the roots of suffering. For the next 45 years, Gautama traveled across India and shared his knowledge. Over the years, he attracted many followers. Because he could explain things that troubled people, his followers called him the Buddha, or the Enlightened One. His teachings became known as Buddhism. The Middle Way. Buddhism differed from earlier religions in one important way. Other religions worshipped many gods or one god. Buddha taught that the answers to human suffering lay not in worshipping gods, but in right thinking and self-denial. Buddha taught that human suffering is caused by selfish desires for power, wealth, and pleasure. The way a person becomes free from suffering is by giving up selfish desires. The way to do this is to follow the middle way. The middle way avoids two extremes, too much pleasure and too much worry about life. Reaching nirvana. To find this middle way, Buddha taught people must act unselfishly towards others and treat people fairly. They must tell the truth at all times. People should also avoid violence and the killing of any living thing. If people followed Buddha's path, their sufferings would end. They would eventually find nirvana, or lasting peace. By reaching nirvana, people would be released from the endless wheel of reincarnation. Followers of Buddhism. Buddhism also taught that all people are equal. Anyone, Buddha declared, could follow the path to nirvana, regardless of his or her social class. This idea appealed to many people, especially those in the lower caste system. Like other religions, Buddhism has priests. Anyone can become a Buddhist priest or monk. Buddha encouraged his followers to establish monasteries. There they could learn, meditate, and teach. He also urged monks to become missionaries, or people who spread their religious beliefs to others. Buddhism in India. After gaining the understanding of human suffering that he looked for, Buddha spent the rest of his life teaching. Followers flocked to hear his sermons. Rulers and ordinary people together gathered around him. After his death, his teachings spread all over India. For many years, Buddhism and Hinduism existed side by side. The golden age of Buddhism in India came during the rule of Usuka, one of India's greatest rulers. You will read about him in the next section. However, Buddha's teachings did not last in the land of his birth. Over time, Buddhism died out almost completely in India. However, as Hinduism and Buddhism coexisted in India, a number of fundamental ideas came to be shared by both. Hindus and Buddhists accepted the idea that it is wrong to harm other living creatures and that non-violence is to be valued. Many Hindus came to honor Buddha as a reincarnation of the god Vishnu. But because Buddhists do not embrace the sacred text of Hinduism, Buddha is a rarely worshipped god. Buddhism, however, was accepted by millions of people in other lands. Missionaries carried Buddha's message throughout Asia. It took root in China and grew there. Millions of Chinese became Buddhist. They mixed the ideas of Buddha with those of earlier teachers. Buddhist monasteries became centers of religious thought in China. From China, Buddhism spread to Korea and Japan. Today, Buddhism is a part of the cultures of countries such as Japan, the Koreas, China, Tibet, and Vietnam. This is the end of the section. You should be able to answer a few questions. First, how did Buddha try to change the lives of people in India? Second, what happened to Buddhism in India? And finally, according to Buddhism, how is human suffering connected to human desires? Now that the video is over, please make sure that you have completed your Google Doc and make sure you submit it through the Google Classroom, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.